So as a Nets fan, as I was watching the free agency moves that were made this past summer, the Heat's moves scared me, as seeing them acquire guys like Kyle Lowry and PJ Tucker, as well as also pick up Victor Oladipo at the deadline last year, were all extremely good moves for a team that previously made the 2020 NBA Finals. Well, it seems like those moves are working out as the Heat look dominant this season, and today I want to break down some stats that truly prove that the Heat will be a 2022 title contender if they stay healthy. What's up, guys? SCJ here, and if you enjoyed today's video, then make sure to give it a like, as it helps out a lot. And if you're new to the channel and or enjoy the NBA, then make sure to hit that subscribe button and notification bell. So anyway, guys, last night was yet another great performance by this year's Miami Heat team, as they got a big 15-point win over the Dallas Mavericks by a score of 125-110. The Heat found themselves down 6 after the first 12 minutes of play, but they quickly caused that deficit to disappear as they scored nearly 50 points in the second quarter alone and outscored the Mavericks 46-32 in the quarter and went into the halftime break with a 70-62 lead. The Heat got big performances from their entire roster, as they had 4 players drop 22 or more points last night. Both Lowry and Adebayo had 22 points, Jimmy Butler had 23 points, and Tyler Herro led the Heat with a big 25-point night off the bench. Beyond just last night, though, Tyler Herro has 157 points off the bench this season, which is the most by any bench player since the 1989-90 NBA season through the first 7 games. Another way to show Herro's dominance scoring the ball this season is the gap between him and the bench player in second place for most points scored is a 40-point difference, which is a larger gap than the space between the second and 10th place player in that category, which is extremely impressive. Beyond Herro, though, the team's also gotten great play from their leader, Jimmy Butler, as he's averaged 25 points on the dot, 6.9 rebounds, 5.6 assists, and 2.9 steals per game, along with great shooting of 51.3% from the field and a true shooting percentage of 62.2%, which is great. It really makes him look like a legit MVP candidate through the early portion of this season. Also, another thing I wanted to mention was opponents are shooting 28.1% when guarded by Bam Adebayo this season, which is the lowest mark by any defender who's contested 60 or more shots on the year. Enough about the Heat's individual players, though, because their cohesiveness as a unit is something that really needs to be highlighted. This season, the Heat are tied with the Jazz and the Bulls for the best record in the NBA through the first 7 games of the season so far, and from these stats, you can see why they're atop the league at this point. This Heat team is second in the NBA behind the young Charlotte Hornets for the most points per game as a team. The Heat are also 5th in field goal percentage and 7th in three-point percentage this season, along with coming in at the 3rd spot for the 3rd highest free throw percentage as well. What's even more impressive is they've shot the 3rd most free throws in the league, yet they still have such a high percentage in terms of their shooting from the line. This Heat team has looked pretty damn good elsewhere, as they're currently leading the NBA in rebounds. They have averaged the 7th most assists per game, and they have also been the most efficient team in the entire NBA through the early part of this season. Not only does this Heat team shine on offense, but they're also one of the best defensive teams in the league, and honestly, in my opinion, they are the best defensive team in the NBA. This season, the Miami Heat as a team have the best defensive rating in the whole NBA, and they almost come in the top 2 in every single defensive category tracked, whether that be opponents' points off turnovers, opponents' second chance points, opponents' points off fast breaks, and opponents' points in the paint. The only area they're not top 2 in is points off fast breaks, as they're the 10th best team in that regard, which still is not bad whatsoever, just something I'm sure they'd like to clean up. The Heat have also held their opponents to the lowest field goal percentage and the 5th lowest three-point percentage, which is great to see from them. With the fact that they lead the league in rebounds, it shouldn't be surprising to see that their opponents have been held to the lowest rebounds per game, and their opponents have also averaged the 5th lowest assists per game, as well as the 2nd lowest points per game total in the entire National Basketball Association. So from those stats, it should be easy to see this Miami Heat team really is legit, as they sit atop the Eastern Conference along with the Chicago Bulls, tied for first place. While their one loss against the Pacers shouldn't be excused, it's important to note that the team was without Kyle Lowry, as he was dealing with an ankle injury, and they were without the man they've been without the whole season, Victor Oladipo, and when he returns, this team will only get even more scary. This Heat team has gotten themselves some great wins, including their blowout of the 2021 NBA champion Bucks, and they manhandled the Brooklyn Nets, which was a game that I witnessed in person and sadly had to watch the Heat barely break a sweat against my favorite team as they beat them by 13 points. So this Heat team is absolutely legit, and performances like the one we saw out of them last night and their tough showings against contenders such as the Milwaukee Bucks and Brooklyn Nets really prove how dangerous this Heat team is, and with them having one of the best potent young players in the league coming off their bench, along with potentially starter Duncan Robinson moving to the bench when Oladipo comes back, this team is only going to get scarier, and honestly, depending on how Oladipo looks when he returns, we might really need to start referring to this Heat team as a super team with how damn good this roster really is. So anyway, guys, I want to know what you guys think about this Miami Heat team, any of their players, or anything having to do with the team down below in the comment section. If you made it all the way through to the end of the video, I appreciate it. And like I said before, if you like this video, then make sure to give it a like as it helps out a lot. And if you're new to the channel and or enjoy the NBA, then make sure to subscribe and hit that notification bell. That way you stay up to date with my newest content on the channel. Anyway though, guys, thank you once again for watching. I'm SCJ, and I am out. Peace.